Hello and welcome to the channel, dear hunters. Today I have a very special video for you. This is a guide to the Greatsword in Monster Hunter 1 that is totally and desperately unnecessarily deep. If you enjoy this video, you might want to get used to the term nerd when you're referring to yourself, so I'm definitely a nerd. Kind of feels like telling a friend a secret or a new discovery I made about the Greatsword. Anyways, I hope this guide challenges your way of thinking about damage and how damage is applied in every video game. And of course, that includes every Monster Hunter title as well. So if you don't know these concepts, this will definitely help you become a better hunter in also World or Rise, if you enjoy those titles at the moment. So let us think about damage more efficiently and more sophisticatedly than just high and low numbers. Alright, so let's focus on some discoveries that I made while using the Greatsword. First, sometimes the attack animation freezes when hitting an enemy and your character stands still during that hit, and sometimes you just swish through like butter and it doesn't freeze. This is actually an indicator of a strong or weak hit respectively. So let's conclude further. I watched this poor Aptonoth getting destroyed many times for this next step. However, I tried to replicate frozen attack animations and swish through or smooth attacks, and that an attack is strong or weak and frozen or smooth, that depends on the stage your attack animation is in at the moment of impact. So basically, if I use an easier sentence, do you hit the monster in the early, middle or late stages of your attack animation? So to replicate this, positioning is central. As a follow-up understanding, we can state that there is damage differences in one single attack. So one attack has different damaging zones. There is, however, 3 exceptions to this statement: the draw slash, the down slash, and sharpness being very high. Those 2 only showed one very consistent damage number and always froze on impact. So only one damage zone and only one animation speed for those 2 moves, the draw slash and down slash. However, we will include those attacks when we have a look at absolute and relative speed normalized animation DPS for every move. It's not as complicated as it sounds. I will explain. Don't worry if you can't imagine what that is yet. Absolute and relative numbers, also speed normalized DPS, what the fuck? I will get you there, promise. I later also found out that the 3rd exception, these damage differences in one animation, don't apply when you have really good sharpness. So for this damage and animation difference to exist, the relation of your sharpness to the monster part hardiness you are hitting has to be monitored. So if your sharpness is very high, you will always freeze on impact no matter where your animation is, and it will always do full damage, because the relation of sharpness and monster part is in your favor. Okay, so let's assume I have normal sharpness for this stage of the game, nothing too powerful. Those smooth swish attacks happen for me, and they have a damage difference. This Aptonoth has 64 HP. I have an add-on that shows me that. After every attack, I check back in with the stats of the game to see how much HP is left, so I know how much the attack did damage. We have to do a definition of animation speed, just so we know from when to when we calculate the speed of an actual animation. The animation duration, or its speed, is by me defined as the time from the first frame of attack until the time from the first frame of rolling out of the attack. So basically, from the start of the attack until the first frame you can input your next move, be it either another attack or just rolling out. So basically the definition is the time your attack takes in which you can't do anything except watch the attack. Alright, so now that you know the definition of time, we can have a look at how much damage every move does and how much time every move takes. There are 8 different moves we can have a look at. First off, I want to focus your attention at the top. The A damage just means it's an absolute number, and the R damage percent just means it's a relative number. What does that mean? For the relative number, I just set the down slash, who is the strongest unsheathed attack, with 31 to 100%. I didn't use the upward slash as a point of reference, the heavy middle one at the bottom. He also does 31%, however, it's a bit slower, 0.03 of a second actually, which is not much, but as a point of reference, I took the down slash. So what I did for those relative damage number percents is just divide their damage by the down slash. So those numbers show us how much this attack does in comparison to the highest achievable damage the down slash provides. However, those first absolute and relative damage numbers don't tell us much because every attack has a different speed. So how can we fix that? We can time normalize all of the attacks. That just means that we calculate how much an attack would have done if it only processed 1 second of the attack's damage. So basically what you have to do to achieve this is divide, for example, for the down slash, the 31 absolute damage is divided by 2.14 seconds to get to know how much this attack would have done if the game only processed 1 second of it. So this is actually the DPS, the damage per 1 second. Let's just have a look at some interesting numbers. So for example, the spin slash, the light early spin slash and the light late spin slash, they take exactly the same time to animate. However, they do different damage. So this basically tells you that the late spin slash is stronger, obviously, and that you should always position yourself so the late portion of the attack hits. So this is just basically a positioning tip seen in the numbers. Also, in case you are wondering, obviously there is a delay from the light to the heavy slashes because of the frozen screen. So this difference of, for example, in the spin slash is 0.8, what is it, 0.88 seconds? 0.88 seconds is the frozen screen, which is actually huge in comparison to the upward slash. In the upward slash, if you hit hard and it freezes the screen, it only freezes the screen for 0.17 seconds. So the difference there is actually bigger. It also kind of brings every attack to around 2 seconds or a bit over. So the down slash is over 2 seconds, the heavy spin slash is 2 seconds, and the upward slash is 2 seconds 17. So every move kind of is around 2 seconds for the greatsword if you are positioned correctly and hit the monster with a frozen heavy hit. Then just to do some parallel reliability testing, I tested the same damage with the Ravager blade versus a Velocidrome, and I tested in addition the Agito Plus versus the Velocidrome. And this is where I found out that enough sharpness always brings you heavy hits. So What we see here with the Ravager Blade Plus is that it has enough sharpness to ignore if the attack is light hitting or heavy hitting. It always has a frozen screen and it always has the same time, resulting in very, very predictable damage numbers. This basically tells us if you have enough sharpness, positioning your hunter towards the monster is not as important as it would be if you lose your sharpness. Also, what we can see here very clearly is that the spinning slash is the weakest move of the strong sword, yeah, of the greatsword. It only does 80% of the down slash animation DPS. As well as we can always see that the draw slash is one of the fastest as well as heavy hitting damaging moves of the greatsword. Also, we see that the down slash and upward slash almost have the same DPS. So if you want to do a, for example, infinite single target damage combo, your down to up slash combo will always be the most DPS. Alright, let's bring up the table of the Agito Plus versus Velocidrome. This is an interesting table. We have some reliable numbers that we are getting used to. The down slash at 100% for the relative damage DPS, at 100% at the relative animation DPS. And here's something odd. The heavy middle hitting attack of the spin slash for the Agito Plus versus a Velocidrome did a lot of damage. It did 39, which results to only 75% of the down slash damage. However, it came out really fast. The freeze screen only was 1/10 of a second, which was kind of weird. I rechecked it, but it just is how it is. This results in the attack being super fast and dealing really good animation DPS, resulting in 126% of the down slash DPS, making it the strongest attack for the Agito Plus versus the Velocidrome. It's kind of a weird find. Maybe this has to do with different body parts that take more or less damage. Maybe this could also just mean that the times those animations freeze during your attacks are not very consistent. Maybe I also did just perfect time the frame of my roll after the attack, so it cut off at the most advantageous point. Fuck that word. However, maybe I was just very dexterous in that one single video, and it did contain the time the move took to the most accurate number. Could be. There's always just a little bit of human error in all of those stats. However, that's why I did those parallel testing with some different weapons, and yeah. But again, I haven't explained why, I forgot this, damn. I haven't explained why those relative numbers are important. Those relative numbers are important because they help us to make different fights comparable. Different stages of gear, different powerful weapons become comparable because their attacks are always relative to each other. So we can have a look at the Ravager Blade, which does more damage than the Agito Plus. However, the moves in relation to themselves do most of the time the same amount of damage. So what we see is the upward slash always does around 95 to 99% of the down slash, and the spin slash is kind of lower sometimes, except for this one odd number that went very fast. Maybe there what also could be is just that the game had a bug, but that's a kind of cheap excuse in my mind. Anyway, so those are the stats. It's pretty simple. The strongest single target hitting attack is the draw slash. That's straight up it. It's very fast, allowing you to evade a lot of times, so if you only want to get one hit in, use the draw slash. If you have to sheath first and that would take too much time, use the down slash. It will do most of the time the most damage for a one-hit combo. For a two-hit combo, down up, well, basically for the joystick it's up and right, the down slash and the upward slash do the most DPS for a two-hit combo, and for an infinite combo it's those two again, the down and up, plus positioning, I would say. So if, for example, you end up somewhere around the monster where you wouldn't hit it anymore, obviously you want to exchange your slash for different positioning to not stop attacking. The next conclusion we can draw for combat is sharpness is super important. If sharpness enables your attack to do full damage in the complete attack animation, you will always want to do that. In general, there are very important damage concepts that we can discuss a little bit while keeping our findings in mind. Single target DPS is what we looked at the most. However, if there are multiple targets, you will want to adapt your gameplay to area of effect DPS. So even if a move does less damage, if you hit 3 monsters with it, this triples its damage output. This triples its DPS. Even though the numbers are lower, the freeze is not big enough to justify hitting each monster with a single target combo. So always consider your surroundings. If there's a lot of monsters, use multiple target and good positioning to hit as many monsters as possible, which seems kind of obvious now that I talk about it. However, it is what it is. Then we got uptime versus big numbers. Speedy attacks tend to be more powerful for DPS than just hard hitting attacks. Of course, you want to maximize both speed and big numbers. However, most of the time, speed is more powerful than damage. Positioning in relation of monster and hunter. Always try to position yourself so that your hardest hitting combo will hit the monster. So for this, we use the down and up combo, for example, as a 2-hit most DPS combo. We will always want the monster to be positioned in a front rightward side, but most of the time in the front. Always keep in mind positioning, especially when you're doing multi-target combat. Then we have infinite combos versus downtime management. We had uptime. We want to have a high uptime. However, we want to reduce our downtime as much as possible. What does that mean? Getting knocked over, having to heal, having to sharpen your weapon, having to dodge an attack. That's all downtime that is consumed by the game in which you don't deal any damage. So, for example, if you are rocking an infinite combo and you're just hailing at the monster, you could break that infinite combo and move out of harm's way very early to not get hit, to not increase the downtime you will have when the monster does its next move. So it's a managing of uptime and downtime. It's a managing of speed and numbers. It's a managing of positioning and of resources, sharpness, so positioning and resources. And it's a thing of single target versus your multi-target combat behavior. Wow, this was a long video, took a lot of planning, so if you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe for more of those. I will be hunting every monster in every Monster Hunter game, so if you want to see a specific monster that you really like or enjoy a specific Monster Hunter title, stick around to have a look how I will dissect, and if I find anything cool in your favorite game, maybe it will show up on my channel. So stick around for that till that comes up. However, we will focus on the first game and we will stomp those few monsters that are left after Rathalos. Also, comment. I bullied this Aptodoth a lot. Maybe you can give this Aptodoth a name in the comments. He endured so much hitting in this video for our research, so someone give him the honor of a good name. And no, he couldn't die. Since we were abusing quick load save states, he reincarnated every time after we depleted his HP. Poor guy couldn't escape. So if you have a name for it, please leave it in the comments. I hope you have a great day. Don't be too hard on yourself. If you don't have a great day, maybe you can find something to cheer yourself up. Nevertheless, I will see you in the next video. Bye!